Hey everyone, Brandon here from Build to Rent Investing and Financial Talk. Today I thought I would share a little bit more and go in depth of my journey and the whys I'm doing this channel. And so I hope you'll follow along, and please stay till the end, like and subscribe. I want to make an impact. So here we go. Wanted to share some things, and what we do here at this Build to Rent channel is share the journey and to help people get to financial freedom. You know, I started out my career in the financial industry, and I've had now 2.5 decades in the financial industry. And I started out as a stockbroker, and I did that for a couple of years and found that just wasn't as meaningful in my life, and moved from there into banking. And that was my ultimate goal of what I wanted to do. And I got into banking, and one of the things that I did was I was the one that analyzed every person's company. And I sat down and I realized my skill set was I was not only a person that could compile the numbers, but I was a person that could interpret them. And I would sit down with these owners and talk about what their numbers meant. So I not only can compile them, but I can tell you what they mean and also what to do. So that was one of the skill sets that I learned, as I started my career. And what was so beneficial is I got to sit down and we would do annual visits with some of our largest customers that had over $1 million in loans. And they were the ones that had me go out and I would meet with them. And what I did is took that opportunity to ask them and discover how they were. And these were people in my area that were, I could think of one person that was worth over $10 million, but all the rest were $1 million plus, multiple millions. And I would sit down and I found a trend that either they made their money in real estate, or they had a business or did something and they keep their money in real estate. And that was when that light bulb went off. that is something that I needed to do in the future. And I took that career as a banker, and I eventually became vice president of commercial lending. And I learned different things that were risky and some were less risky. I learned all these things, and I said, I got a practical MBA in all kinds of businesses. And I learned the best practices for all kinds of industries that I analyzed dozens upon dozens of different businesses. And so I did that going forward. I implemented it in the couple of businesses that I started. I got the information of what was the best practices with the financials, and I would build my organization based upon that. But I knew in banking that I would not be there permanently. I was there for almost 6 years and realized who were the people making the money and had the real wealth. It was not always the banker. It was the person the banker banked and lent the money to. And so I decided at some point I wanted to be the person that the banks pursued, wanting to give loans to, because I was so good with what I did and with my money. So those were the things that I learned in that almost 6 years of a career in banking. As I took it, applied it to my life, learned how to understand financials, how to interpret numbers and how they work, even to the point where I talk about it a lot in these videos of the optimum starting point is to have 30% equity. There's reasons why the bank does a minimum of 20%, so that if things go sideways or south, you can get out at break even. But I knew if I had to have that happen, if things went sideways or south, I was going to need money. And the optimum starting position is with 30% equity. That's why I teach those things. I've learned it through the years. So from there, I went into real estate because I knew from all these multimillionaires where they were making their money. And so I first got into real estate sales and did that for almost 12 years. And I was able to sell over 2,000 properties and right at $500 million in real estate. I really wanted to master the value on properties. And so that's what I worked on as the primary listing agent, and then I trained others, and I spent time in classes with appraisers. The reason I did that, I learned even from the bank. I was the one that had to critique the appraisals. All these little things taught me how to get where I am today, and I'm willing to share that. And so as I was learning to master the pricing on the properties, knowing what the value was on the property, as I've learned through the years and decades, the people that know the value of things do the best. I think of even the story some of y'all may have watched the show American Pickers or Pawn Stars or those type of things. It's because they know the value of things and what they can buy it for, what they can sell it for, or whatever. For us in real estate, what we can buy and keep and get that forced equity. Those are the things that I learned over the years and have began to implement over these last 5 years of owning my own real estate. I went from there and got into investing, and it's learning these things over the years and being able to share them. The reason I'm doing this is I've gotten into my 50s now. I'm doing this because, man, things have changed. It's not just financial freedom that brings me value. It's making an impact. And this next year, this next week, I'm going to be teaching the high school seniors. There's 2 economics classes, and my school, where my daughter's a senior, has asked me to come in for an entire week and teach them financial literacy and what I've learned over these years of investing and managing money. I'm trying to give back what I wished I would have gotten in high school. You and I know we don't get training on money, which is one of the most practical things we have to know as we get out to become an adult. And I'm teaching that to these high school seniors. So I'm going to be sharing some videos on that coming forward. But I'm doing this channel not to make money. It's really to make an impact. If it grows where it produces something, that's not the intent. It's not why I'm going to continue growing it. The reason and the meaning of why I'm doing this channel is to make an impact, to share. I've had great godly men mentor me in my life, both spiritually and financially. And I can think of several men that have poured into my life, and I'm wanting to do the same thing and have done this same thing over the years. I look for people that are ahead of me, that I respect, that are willing to pour in me. I call it fresh water. We know that if water or a river is pouring into a lake that doesn't have an outlet, it becomes stagnant. I want to be fresh water. I want to have people pouring in. I want those mentors pouring into my life. But to keep myself fresh is I've got to do the same thing and pour into others. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I encourage you, is to have a good, solid mentor. I've got 2 men right now. My father passed away 2 years ago, and I don't have him now. And I've got a couple of good men, multiple men that pour into my life. And I appreciate that. And I'm doing the same thing for my children. I'm trying to think way ahead, years ahead. I'm pouring into my children. I'm pouring into my children's friends. I'm pouring into people that aren't at where I'm at, and I'm pouring into them, willing to do this. I'm not doing this for money. I will not charge. I'm going to share everything on this channel that I know over the years. That is my intent, to make an impact. It is more meaningful to me creating these videos, helping somebody. When I get encouragement, please like and share. When you give encouragement and write a comment that how it's helping you, that is worth money to me. It's valuable. I wouldn't say money. It's valuable to me, and it encourages me doing this. So that is why I'm doing this channel. And I thought I'd just share much more information of my journey and the why I'm doing this. I'm learning so much from this channel. I'm getting as much out of it as I hope you are, maybe more, being able to share and teach, and it's bringing meaning to my life, and I'm trying to help others. I'm not going to edit these videos. I'm going to talk like I am a Texan. I'm going to share where I've made mistakes, and I've got videos coming this spring where I have made some errors and little mistakes. I'm going to share them. It hasn't been perfect. I've made mistakes, and I'm hoping with me sharing some of these mistakes, and here's how I do it differently. From the first build that I did to where I'm building now, each one I'm learning, and I'm getting better each time. It's not going to be perfect. I was willing to get out and do it. And I encourage you, if you don't have any real estate, get out, do your first one. It might not be, and it's probably not going to be that home run. It's going to be this small base hit. But that's where you're learning. When we learn, there's only so much you can learn from hearing it from someone. What you need to have is first-hand learning. And that's learning it practically, where you're learning it, doing it yourself. There's only so much, 70% of your learning can come from others. That final 30% comes from you, from the journey of practically implementing it. Knowledge is one thing. It has limited value. Wisdom is applying what you learn in the right ways. Until next time.